नमस्कार प्यारे बच्चों, माई सेल्फ DN तिवारी, PGT इकोनॉमिक्स, जवाहर नवोदय विद्यालय, कानपुर देहात. Dear students, today we are going to study about statistical tools. You can say this chapter can be considered as chapter of chapters, because not only measure of central tendency we are going to study, we'll have to study about measure of dispersion, then correlation, and again at last we had to study about index numbers too. As far as central tendency is concerned, central tendency, as the name itself indicates, we want to find out a particular value which can represent the entire group. Secondly, this value of a given series is closer to the other values of the series. That's why we can call it as a average. It is also known as central value of a given series. So it's a central value. On one side, you'll find numbers are decreasing. On the other side, you'll find numbers are increasing. Now, why do we have to find out? To present huge data into a single one. Suppose we are having so many data on any topic, on anything, you cannot come on any conclusion. But when we talk about a single data which can represent the entire group, for example, we can consider per capita income. If income of 1.30 Arabs of people are given, no decision, no discussion, no conclusion can be drawn. But when we talk about per capita income of India is this much, easily anyone can guess about the economic condition of Indians. It is also going to help us in comparative study. Comparative analysis becomes possible if you are having studies, you are having about central tendencies. You can use this data in your different economic decisions. Of course, in deciding different welfare policies, government can use this data of average. A shopkeeper can use this data for increasing his sales. It can be used to know more about the universe from a particular single figure. Of course, it is also there. And to find out precise relationship between two or more variables. Now, what are the essential elements of an average? What should be there in an ideal average? First of all, it must be rigidly defined. Its definition must be clear and must be rigid in a sense that it can come on any on a single particular conclusion, not only in a situation of confusion. It must be least affected by the fluctuations. Average means fluctuation should not affect that particular value. Must be capable of algebraic treatment. Dear students, anything which cannot be proved by either diagrammatically or mathematically cannot be used for algebraic or mathematical treatments. And such theories are also always considered as a doubtful one. No one can have faith, full and perfect faith on such theories. It must be easy to understand and to calculate. Definitely, its central value can be considered as the ideal one only when it is very easy to understand by even a layman, and definitely it should be easily calculatable. Must give same result for the same type of data. If you are taking a particular type of data whether I calculate or you calculate, that particular formula must give us the same result. So if we talk about measure of central tendencies, we find there are three types of central tendencies. Number one is mean, second one is median, and third one is mode. Mean can also be further classified into arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean, and weighted mean. So we will come one by one. Whatever is there in your syllabus, we will have to study about. When we talk about measure of central tendency, arithmetic mean is indicated by x bar, median is indicated by m, and mode is indicated by z. Then relationship between mean, median, and mode is also very important. After that, we will come on correction of errors in the estimation of mean, and then combined average will also be taught. Before going on to the next slide, I would like to show you the diagram which is shown here in this particular paragraph. Here we find the value of mean, median, and mode in a very simple way. There are persons who are standing, and you can see the one who is standing in between is the indicator of median, and the one whose number of frequencies, these two you can see are wearing same color of uniform. So number of, here the value of mode is 155 centimeter of height. And then when we talk about mean is nothing but finding the sum of all these five students divided by number of students, that is 5. The sum of the observation by number of observation. In this way, we can find mean, median, mode by a simple method. And let us see what else can be done. Arithmetic mean is nothing but sum of the values of a series divided by its number of observations. Say x bar is the indicator of arithmetic mean. This is equal to sigma x upon n. Now, what is sigma x? Sigma x is nothing but the sum of each and every variable given in the question. The value x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 and so on. Number of item, that is n, is equal to first person plus second person, third person, fourth person, how many number of students are there, how many number of persons are there. It has to be studied. Now, I have given a weighing machine also to find out arithmetic mean. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 weights, 2 kg, 3 kg, 5 kg, and 10 kg. The value of mean in this case is nothing but 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 10. So I hope you can easily find out. So 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 10, then 10. 20 divided by number of persons are, how many number of persons are there in this case? How many observations? The number of observations are there? There are 1 observation, 2, 3, and then 4. So 20 divided by 4 is nothing but 5, which is the value of mean. An example can also be shown. Calculate arithmetic mean from the data given below by 7 students. Number of observation is 7, then you can say. And the marks obtained by these 7 students is 5, 11, 16, 17, 19, 24, and 30. So sigma x is nothing but 5 plus 11 plus 16 plus 17 plus 19 plus 24 plus 30. And then sigma x is 122. And number of observation, as I told you, is 7. So sigma x divided by n, that is 122 divided by 7, is 17.43 marks. So the average marks of these 7 students is 17.43. Now, types of arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean can be divided into simple arithmetic mean and weighted arithmetic mean. When we talk about simple, means we treat each and every observation equally. And when we talk about weighted, weighted is nothing but weightage is nothing but we give weight according to their uh, magnitude. More weight can be given to ascending or descending orders. Now, what are the merits of arithmetic mean? First of all, arithmetic mean is very easy to understand and very simple to calculate. Of course, it's very easy to understand and very simple to calculate. Very straight formula is there. Rigidly defined. Whether you calculate or my calculate, answer will be same. Then it is based on all the observation, because x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equal, so all the x's are to be added and the number of to be divided by number of observations. So in this way, this information is based on all the observations. That's why it's an ideal average. It is least affected by the extremes. The value of extremes are least affected because all the values are to be included. Then better tool. This is considered as a better tool. Most of the time, we calculate whether it's a matter of per capita income or it's a matter of density of population, high birth rate, death rate, almost all the things are in index numbers, all are going to be used to be developed on the basis of this particular average. Now, what are the merits of, when we continue with the merits of arithmetic mean? It is capable for further algebraic treatments. All the mathematical tools and techniques can be used, can be applied on this particular mean. No arrangement or grouping is required for this mean. If you want to calculate mean, you do not require to make any rearrangement. You can calculate the data given in their original form. Then used by the researchers and scholars. Most commonly used by the researchers and scholars in their studies. Arithmetic mean is used by the government in setting up different welfare criteria. Below poverty line. What is this poverty line? It is nothing but average persons earning a particular certain amount of money. So almost all the government welfare schemes are based on this average, that is arithmetic mean. Then what is going to be the demerits? Again, demerit can be studied. It is affected by extreme values, as you can see. If it is based on all the observations, sometimes it is also affected by the extremes. Suppose there are three persons. One is getting zero amount as his pocket money. The other one is getting 100 rupees, 200 rupees as a pocket money. And the third one is getting 1000 rupees as the pocket money. So if these three, if we calculate average pocket money earned by these three students, we can find out 0 plus 200 plus 300. That means 1200 by 3. Okay, number of students are 3. So 1200 divided by 3 comes 400. So you can see how much none of them is getting the amount equivalent to 400. It can give sometime a very absurd or unacceptable results. For example, it gives birth rate as 26.5 per 1000. So it's very difficult to understand the value of 0.5 child. Sometimes we have to use our mind, wisdom to come on any conclusion. It does not calculate, includes or covers qualitative area. Qualitative area, it is totally It cannot be used to find out whether a particular uh, product is good or bad, sweet or sour, whether it is going to be accepted by the society or not. So good values or qualities cannot be estimated, cannot be calculated when we use arithmetic mean. Then requires all the items to calculate. If any item is missing, you cannot calculate arithmetic mean. Graphical calculation of arithmetic mean is not possible. You can calculate mode, you can calculate median, but you cannot calculate this particular things. Observation method is not a, you cannot calculate arithmetic mean just by having your observation or an observation about the data. You have to calculate, you have to apply the formula, only then you will be able to calculate. Sometimes it may not represent the group. I just gave you the example of 400 rupees. None of them is getting 400 rupees as pocket money. First one is getting 0 rupees, second one is getting 200 rupees, and last one is getting 1000 rupees. So this 1000 rupees has disturbed the entire average. Now, what is previous knowledge which is required to calculate arithmetic mean? First of all, there are three types of series, namely individual series. As you can see, pocket money received in the original form. Then comes discrete series, when two types of values x and f are given. Suppose 10 rupees is getting 5 students, 20 rupees is getting 7 students, 30 rupees are obtained by 9 students, 40 students. In this way, this is called discrete series when the value of x and f are given. Then comes continuous series. You must be knowing about what is continuous series. It can be divided into inclusive series and exclusive series. Inclusive means this last highest value of the group is included in this particular group. Say 9 is included in 0 to 9. Then in the second group, 10 to 19, that means 10 and 19 both are included. So if extremes are the part of the same group, it is that series is known as inclusive series. If extremes are excluded, say 0 to 10, 10 is excluded, then 10 to 20, 20 is excluded from 10 to 20, 10 is excluded from 0 to 10. Then in the group 20 to 30, 30 is excluded from 20 to 30. So if the extreme value of the group is not the part of that group, it will be known as exclusive series. Here 10 is excluded, 20 is excluded, 30 is excluded. In this, 9 is included, 19 is included, 29 is included. So this is called exclusive or inclusive series. Now, how to calculate arithmetic mean? Dear students, we can calculate arithmetic mean by three different methods. Direct method, step deviation method, shortcut method. These are the three methods which you can apply. And of course, this will depend upon the series also. If you want to calculate, apply direct method on individual series, I just gave you the formula. It is nothing but x bar is equal to sigma x upon n. That means x1 plus x2 plus x3 xn. In the same way, n1, n2, n3, you add all these n's. In the case of discrete series, first of all, you have to find out fx, that is f is to be multiplied by x, and the sum of fx is to be divided by number of items. In the case of continuous series, and you want to apply direct method, you have to find out mid value of the series, which will be indicated by x. X is equal to L1 plus L2 by number of by 2. After that, you have to apply the same formula, sigma fx into n. Here, remember, here mv is the value of x. X is not given you, rightly. Then calculation of arithmetic mean in individual series. I have given you some data. The value of x are 100, 150, 165, 170, 185, 200, 210, 220, 230, 250. Now, how many number of items are there? You can calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 numbers, and find the sum of these. Add 100 plus 150 plus 165 plus 170 plus 185. In this way, you will find, if you add all these things, you will find 1850. And if this value is divided by n, that is 10, you will get x bar as 185. So this is the calculation of arithmetic mean in individual series, and that too by direct method. Now, calculation of arithmetic mean in individual series by shortcut method. Series is same, find out shortcut method. For that, you have to find out assumed mean AM, and this assumed mean you must have to take from the middle of the given series of x. Why is it so? Because we are going to calculate average. Average means central value. So your average definitely is going to lie in your central place. So from 10, 150, 165, you find 185 is at the center. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is going to be central value. I have taken assumed mean as 185. You can take any number from 100 to 250, depending upon your assessment capability. So you have to find x dx, that is x minus am. X minus am, yes. So the value of x is 100, am is 185. So 100 minus 185, 100 minus 185, you can see what? You can see minus 85. Then 150 minus 100, 185 is 35. 165 minus 185 is minus 20. 170 minus 185 is minus 5. Then 200 minus 185 is nothing but 15. 210 by 185 is 25. Okay. So in this way, you can find out the value of dx. And you have to apply formula x bar is equal to am plus sigma dx upon n. Here am is your assumed mean 185, and sigma d is 40, dx is 40 divided by n. So in this way, 189 is the answer. Calculation of arithmetic mean in individual series by step deviation method. So here you have to find out step deviation. First of all, dx is to be find out as you did in the last time. You can take any number of your choice, okay, and find out dx. Then dx prime is to be obtained. Dx prime is nothing but the value of dx divided by common number. Here in this case, we can see common number is 10. Is it 10? No. Common number is what? You can take common number as 5. So in this case, you can find out by applying this formula. Coming on arithmetic mean in discrete series. Again, shortcut method is to be applied in discrete series. Then step deviation method will also be used. When we talk about mean in a discrete series by direct method, we find x and f are given. You have to find out fx, that is 10 into 5, 50, 20 into 7, 140, 30 into 9, 270. And when you sum up this fx, it will be indicated by sigma fx, and number of item now will become your frequency. I told you the number of students who obtain 10 marks is 5, number of students who obtain 20 marks is 7. So in this way, the value of frequency, remember, will be the indicator of n. Apply this formula. 5410 divided by 100 is 54.1. Step deviation method can also be applied on individual series. Let us see how can it be used in discrete series. F and x are given to you. You have to find out dx by taking assumed mean. Then f is to be multiplied by dx. 5 into minus 40 is 200. 7 into minus 30 is 210. 9 into minus 20 is minus 180. 11 into minus 10 is equal to minus 110. In this way, you can find. So sigma f dx is nothing but subtracting this value from the sum of this. Apply this formula, you will be able to get. Okay. Mean in a discrete series by step deviation method. Now we are going to apply step deviation method. So for that, first of all, you have to find out dx as we did in the last class, last slide. Then you have to find out dx prime. The common difference in this particular case is 10. So minus 40 divided by 10 is minus 4. Minus 30 divided by 10 is minus 3. Minus 20 divided by 10 is minus 2. Minus 10 divided by 10 is minus 1. So in this way, you can take out your own. So now this f dx prime is to be multiplied by f. 5 minus 4. 5 into minus 4 is minus 20. 7 into minus 3 is minus 21. So now you have to find out the value of f dx prime. Okay. So the value of f dx prime is nothing but 81. When we go ahead, and we'll find by applying the formula, you can easily calculate arithmetic mean in a discrete series by step deviation method. Mean in a continuous series, again by direct method. Then again by, you can see the way we have done. If you take the example of inclusive series, the series is given as 0 to 9, 10 to 19. Here you have to start this series from 0.5 to 9.5, then 9.5 to 19.5. So you have to make a little bit arrangement, otherwise you won't be able to calculate. Then middle value is to be calculated by this plus this. 0.5 plus 9.5 is equal to 20, is equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then 9.5 plus 19.5 divided by 2 is 30. So 30 by 2, that is 15. So in this way, you can find out the value of x. Then this value of x is to be multiplied by, okay, then this value of x is to be multiplied by what it called frequencies. So 5 into 5 is 25. 15 into 5 is 3 is 45. 25 into 6 is 150. 35 into 4 is 140. 45 into 7 is 350. Apply the same formula, sigma fx upon n, we'll get the value of x bar. Mean of continuous series by shortcut method. Again, you have to find out x. X is nothing but sum of L1 plus L2 by 2. Then this is f given to you in the question. Then dx, you have to assume, if 35 is assumed mean, then you can find out dx, then f dx prime, and after that you have to apply this formula. Then mean deviation in a continuous series by step deviation method. So for a step deviation method, your step 1 will be to find out mid value, then indicate it by x, then find out dx taking assumed mean as 35. Then you have to divide this dx by common difference, that is I. Here in this case is 10. So if this is divided by 10, you will get this line of dx prime. Now this dx prime is to be multiplied by f. So 5 into 3, minus 3 is 15. 3 into minus 2 is minus 6. 6 into minus 1 is minus 6, and so on. So in this case, x bar is equal to assumed mean plus sigma f dx prime upon n into I. So when you apply this formula, you'll find am is given to you as 35, f dx prime you have obtained as 13, then frequency is 43 into 10. You will get the value of 38.2. Now let us see how to calculate combined average. Suppose in class 11th there are 45 students. Their arithmetic mean marks in economics is 85. In 12th class, having 50 students, mean marks in economics is 90. Then in BCom, you find arithmetic number of students is 100, and their arithmetic mean marks in economics is 95. So first of all, x bar, this is going to be the x bar 1, and this is going to be x bar 2, this is going to be x bar 3, whereas this is n1, n2, n3. Apply formula x bar 1 into n1, x bar 2 into n2, and so on. In the same way, in the denominator, you'll find n1 plus n2 is equal to sigma n. So putting the values, you will find x bar is nothing but 91.41. Now, how to do correction in the error? When we talk about correction in the error, as we go on calculating a particular average, we may commit, unknowingly we may commit some mistake or error. Suppose we can misread 18 as 10, we can misread 02 as 92. So misreading is possible. Then it is also possible that we have taken some more other data of our choice. So mistake or error is possible. So to correct your mistake after calculating this arithmetic mean, there is a process of doing correcting your mistakes or errors. First of all, you'll have to find out sigma x 0, initial sigma x 0. And to find out initial sigma 0, you have to do nothing but x bar into n. You just multiply x bar into n, because x bar is equal to sigma x upon n. So by using this formula, we can get sigma x 0 is equal to x bar 0 into n. So after obtaining this particular value, we can go on corrected. Sigma x1 is the correct sigma x. That can be found out by sigma x0, which we have done here. Then adding correct data and subtracting wrong data. Enter. So in this way, after that, you can find out correct mean, that is equal to sigma x1 upon n. Okay, dear students, as today, it's enough for today. We will come and teach you median in the next class. Thank you.